Hello, my dear friends, fellow travelers, and photographers. Welcome to Chris Lee Travel Channels. In today, I'm going to share with you the second part of my travel journey to Isfahan, a city in central Iran. And a preview of what I'm going to share with you today. First and foremost, I'm going to bring you to a marketplace, and this marketplace is located in this Nas-e-Jahan Square. And I shall also bring you to two historical bridges that found in Isfahan. In Iran, historical bridges are very rare, and but we found quite a number of them in this city. And of the 11 historical bridges in this city, we shall visit two of them. All right, one of them is Siosipo Bridge, and the other one is Kaju Bridge. And we also will bring you to this Chihil Sultan Museum. Basically, it's a palace gardens. And then we also bring you to a very unique places rarely found in Islamic country is the Van Cathedral. So let's begin our journey. First and foremost, let's get some geographical knowledge of whereabouts of Iran if you are first time with me. So Iran is a Middle East country as highlighted in this map. And we are bringing you to this central Iran, and we are visiting this Isfahan province. And Isfahan city is the provincial capital of Isfahan province. And so we are here, and this almost close to 1,000 years city definitely have a lot to offer, and that's why today we shall cover the second half of our journey in this beautiful city. And this Isfahan city is our second last stop of our journey to Iran, and the location in relation to the capital city of Iran, Tehran, as can be seen in this map. So let's come to this very important, very interesting place where most visitors would like to visit is this Ali Quapu Bazaar. But Ali Quapu Bazaar is just one of the names. Many people have referred it as Nas-e-Jahan Bazaar. Some even call it the Grand Bazaar of Isfahan, and they also have some other names as well. But more importantly, this bazaar was one of the greatest and the luxurious trading center in the Safavid era. Now it was built in the year 1620 on the northern side of the Nas-e-Jahan Square. Now the main entrance is Quasari Gate, and is connected to the Konek Square as well as Seljuk part of Isfahan. Now, there are many historical buildings within the vicinity of this bazaar, such as the Nimawa schools, Sat school, and 5 other historical mosques, which I'm not going to go into detail. Now, this bazaar is so popular that among the locals and the tourists, besides due to the presence of the traditional and historical style of bazaar building, which have old shops, right? And these old shop and have very important, so-called architecturally important to the Irans, right? And but it's also due to the abundance of handicraft store and workshop In other words, two main things, the building as well as the commodity that's on sale in this bazaar. Now, the shop here offer a large variety of goods, such as copperwares, handicraft, cloths, fabrics, gold jewelry, silver jewelry, foodstuff, spices, shoe, carpets, souvenir, ornaments, and the shop here are in groups, right, together according to the type of commodity that they are selling. Is for the ease of the shopper. I find it is very, very good in this arrangement. And a point to note that the main commercial activity in this bazaar are carpet and also quilting selling. Hence, visitors can experience, right, with your own eyes of the different kind of handicraft and how they are manufactured or made while strolling in the bazaar. Now, the recommended times to allocate for shopping in this bazaar is half a day, if not more. All right. So let's take a quick walk through this bazaar. So this is actually the square which I mentioned, and there are even between the square itself, the pyramiding buildings that surrounding the square are also the store or shops, and in addition to the bazaar area at the northern section of the square. This is a view in one of the corridor. So you can find all kind of food stuff and spices. Here I think basically are selling some local spices. Example, like in this case, some local candies or sweets. Decorative items, souvenir are abundant and all are highly skilled, highly fascinating. These are some of the very highly recommended souvenir items to purchase. The tableware, all right, the silverware, for example, in this case. Clothes, these are some of the very popular items among tourists. And even the chair set. Decorative lanterns. Artist painting. Wooden handicraft with fine painting on it. So now we're going to bring you to another very interesting spot. It's called COC Pole. Now COC Pole also have other names. For the local, they call Ala Verdik Khan Bridge, or sometimes to the foreigner we call it Bridge of 33 Spans. Which this bridge will span across the Jayadi Road, or so-called Jayadi River, in the city of Isfahan, and the river is considered a very unique scene to be found in city in central Iran, because not many cities are built near to river, particularly in central Iran, due to its high plateau. Now, this bridge is the largest of the 11 historical bridges found in Isfahan, and is is on the longer river of Iran Plateau. Right? They mean that Zayedi River is the longest river in Iranian plateaus. And the bridge in this instance is measured about 297.76 meters in length and with a width of 14.75 meters. Now this bridge was built of stone between 1599 till 1602. It served as a bridge as well as serving as a low dam. I will share with you and explain to you how it acts as a low dam. Now this bridge is a fine representation of Safavid architectures. Now structurally it's a watered arch bridge with two superimposed rows of 33 numbers of arches. Now from where you get its name from, right? The 33 span. And the longest span of the arch of this bridge is measured to be 5.6 meters wide. So let's look at the image here. So first of all, you have a 33 span, and above the bridge you have two rows of covers buildings, two rows of building, right? And this building look like a cell types or wharf. And you notice that this image here, that this image on the downstream of the river, and you can see that there's a stone platform built high above the river, and now you can see the waters are flowing through, right? A thin layer of waters were flowing through. This built up stone platform is act as a dam, a low dam, so that they retain the waters. The water from before crossing the bridge itself will blocked by a low dam, right? The water level built high enough above the low dam, then it only overflow to the downstream. This is how to retain as much water as possible in the river to prevent the water from discharge right down, because in this part of the world or in Iran, water is scarce, very scarce. So therefore, they make every attempt that every bridge they build on the river are serving as a low dam. So now you can have a clearer view of the built-up stone platform acting as a dam. So at the center section of the bridge is actually an open air pedestrian walkway. In fact, this bridge is served strictly for pedestrian only. And on both sides of the both row of the building, you can find a lot of cell-like or compartment-like section, as can be seen in this image. You can see that the local will then place a carpet on it and then sit there and under the shade and enjoy the view of the river. We came back to this bridge at night, and this is the lighted up scene. You see all the cell types place have been occupied, almost all have been occupied at night. Now it's very popular recreationals and gathering places for the local. You can see, particularly during the night and the day, for a day of rest for public holiday. You see, they just like to spend the time here, you know, on the bridge. So we can see the crowd in this image as well here. And now we go to another historical bridge. It's called Khaju Bridge. It's another famous ancient and also considered the city finest bridges of Iran. Why it's been classified as finest, you can see that later on in my image. Now it's located not far from the COC pole, or the bridge of 30 span, which I just shared with you just now. One of the ancient bridges built of stone and brick, right, which was built in 1650. It's about 40 odd years later, after the completion of COC pole, and served both as a bridge as well as a well. So in other words, it's a low dam, as I mentioned just now, that built across to a river to raise the level of water upstream or to regulate its flow, right? Now the bridge is of length 137 meter long and only 12 meter wide, which is slightly shorter than the earlier bridge, right? And this time with 21 numbers of span and a pavilion located at the center of the bridge. Now this pavilion building was once a tea house, served primarily as a building for public gathering and meeting. You can see the both row of covered building on the bridge is a place for people to take their rest, as can be seen in my earlier image in the COC pool. So in this bridge, you can see some fine architectures being displayed. The tile works. You can see the pavilion now in this image. They're protruding at the center of the bridge. So happen to be is during the Iranian holiday, the New Year season. You can see this place is crowded. And the Iranians just likes to be just lazy of their time, just looking at the flowing waters of the river. They are happy with it, because the water to them, river with water is very rare seen in Iran, particularly during the dry season. Most of the river could have dry up. And in between the Khaju and the COC bridge, sorry, and along the 2-kilometer stretch of the riverbank on both sides, locate some city's finest city park of Isfahan. And you can see now from the image, right, that the crowd are there on this beautiful city park. And both bridges are now used strictly for pedestrian crossing. No longer allow vehicle to cross through, right? To pass through. So this is some of the scene of the park on the river bank. And we are now going to bring you to another very unique place in Iran. It is actually a church or cathedral. It's called Van Cathedral and Museum. The Van Cathedral and Museum, right, is a Holy Saviour's Cathedral, also known as the Church of the Saintly Sister, and it's located in the new Jufa district of Isfahan, and commonly referred as Van, which mean monastery or convent in the Armenian language. Now, this cathedral was established in the year 1606, which dedicated to the hundreds of thousands of Armenians deportees that were resettled by the Shah Abbas I during the Ottoman War in 1603 to 1618. Now what you look in this image is here, you can see is a courtyard. So the courtyard contains a large freestanding belfry tower, right? Can be seen in this image now, over the grave of both Orthodox and Protestant Christian. Later on, I will share with you some of this grave, right? And a tower pledge inscribed in Armenian language can be seen by the entrance to the cathedral. And graves are also placed along the exterior wall before the entrance with Armenian inscriptions. So this is the courtyard. This is entrance to the church, and this is one of the office building. This is a cathedral. So this is a tower, the bell tower, and this is a museum, the museum building. And here there's this raised platform, all right, in one corner of the courtyard, house a memorial to the 1915 Armenians genocides in Turkey. One across the courtyard facing the cathedral, there are stood a building, houses a library, as well as a museum, which just now I just shared with you. Outside of this building are several carved stones, right, showing scenes from the Bibles. So this is actually the raised platform, and also you can see that there's some inscription describing genocides in Turkey that took place in 1915. And this is actually the pledge with inscriptions in Armenian language, and also some grave. The grave found in the courtyard compound. And beside the scripture, this is actually the entrance to the church on the right. Right at the entrance, you can see that this is a ceiling. You can find a lot of inscriptions, right, and also a lot of painting. Now, the interior of cathedral is covered with fine fresco and gilded carving, right, inclusive of wainscots of rich tileworks, which you will share with you later. The delicate gold-painted central dome depict the biblical story of the creation of the world, and the man's expulsion from Adam. Right? So later I'm going to show you the main dome. Then the ceiling above the entrance is painted with delicate floral motif. Right? You pay attention to some of the image I'm going to share with you in the style of Persian miniatures. Now, two large band of mural wall that run in interior wall itself, with the top section depicts the event from the life of Jesus, and while the bottom section depicts the tortures inflicted upon the Armenian by the Ottoman Empire. So let's look at some of the golden dome in this cathedral. Now in this image, beside the golden domes, at the center of it, you can see both sides. There's two band of mural wall. The main prayer area. And now you can see this overview of the two band of mural wall. Here is actually about the life of the Jesus, and here is about the tortures inflicted upon the Armenians by the Ottoman Empire. A much closer view. And now we're moving on to these library sections. Now at the library sections, right, is contained over 700 handwritten books and many valuable and unique resources for research into Armenians and medieval European language and art. Now the museum also displays numerous artifacts from the history of the cathedral and the Armenians community in Isfahan. So this is actually the view of this main hall of the museums. It's a two-story building. Some of the exhibits. This is among the 700 handwritten books. The picture on the right is seemed to be one of the old printing machine. And now we will bring you to another last and interesting place. It's called Chihil Soton Museum. As I mentioned earlier, this is a palace gardens which turned museum. It's built by Shah Abbas II for use as his entertainment and reception venue. Now, an initially square design Persian palace gardens with its length extended both east and west directions, forming an elongated shape with a ratio of 1:3. So this is actually the original design and subsequently elongated. You can see that from the map that is the entire garden been extended, right? Now it name in this name in Persian language simply means 40 columns, but in actual facts, right, it only have 20 cylinder wooden column which supporting the entrance pavilion. Now, how this come about? You look at this image carefully. The beside the 20 columns that of the building, the reflections on this long pool, right, fountain pool, will produce another 20s. So in other words, the name of 40 column come about was inspired by the additional 20 columns reflected in the waters of the long fountain pool nearby, as seen in this image. This pavilion have a very high ceiling. It can be seen from these slender columns. The park are full of fully grown trees. These beautiful wooden pavilion buildings. The painting works, the artwork at the soffit of this pavilion's ceiling. These slender columns are supported by stone base, carved stone base. And you also will spot some mirror works. These mirror works are very unique and rare, but it's quite commonly found in Iran. If you have missed my first series of my travelogues, I would strongly recommend you to visit my travelogues. It covers a few places that with exclusive mirror works, and it's world-class standard. It's a masterpiece. At the main hall of the pavilions, where the entertainment and recreations took place, you can see the mural wall paintings on the wall, as well as the painting on the ceilings. A fisheye view of the ceiling at the main hall. Much closer view of the mural wall painting. Let's get closer. Okay, that will be the end of my travelogue for today's. Now, if you are entertained and by my travelogues, I will be much pleased if you could subscribe, like, and share, and to your friends and family, so that they can be like you, touring the world virtually at the comfort of your home, right? And in the coming weeks, I should bring you to another new city in the central Iran, or more toward the northern sector now. And it again will be a lot of excitement and interesting places to share with you. And most importantly, please stay safe and stay strong until we meet again, right? So I will wish you again all the best in this new year, lunar new year, although it's just over, but I believe that the most of us were still in the joyful mood, joyous mood, and hope you have a good day. All right, and bye.